Hello, welcome back to the channel, and this is a channel where we give you reviews, playthroughs, unboxings, and we generally like to talk a load of bollocks about tabletop gaming in general. In this video we're going to continue our countdown of our top 100 board games of all time. How's that brain aneurysm going? Did you seek urgent medical attention after watching the last video? If you did, then fantastic, you can watch even more of this bullshit. If you didn't and you're dead, then you can get one of your relatives to invite me to your funeral, right, where maybe I'll piss or maybe not. So remember, if you're new here, then please consider subscribing to this channel with the like button and all that YouTube bullshit. We'll see you after this. Bollocks. Look, I was only joking about yeah. All depends on how many cans of Monster I drank beforehand, doesn't it? So number 20 on this list is a game that is really fucking expensive to buy now because it's completely and utterly out of print. It ain't coming back, people. It ain't coming back. It's Heroscape. In this game, you'll take on a role of a faction from maybe history or maybe some weirdo's warped imagination, and you'll be moving them around the map trying to take control of objectives and wipe out the opposition right by rolling dice. This is a game by Craig Van Ness, helped along with Rob Davio before his Seafall debacle, and it comes with pre-painted miniatures, which is fucking awesome because I can't paint for shit, yeah, like I told you before. It's very, very simple. It's a move, attack, move game, but each of these factions has a game-breaking special ability, and all the factions are fucking awesome, yeah. Hasbro did try and bring this back on 2 occasions. They did a Magic the Gathering retheme, which we stupidly bought and ended up being fucking dog shit. And then they tried to crowdfund another version of Heroscape based on the original, but it came with unpainted miniatures. It was absolutely extortionately expensive, and quite rightfully the community told them to fuck off. Heroscape isn't coming back. If you want to buy this, you're going to have to go on eBay or some other second-hand market and pay through the fucking nose. Is it worth it? Probably not, because the base games don't come with that much stuff, so you're going to have to basically drain your bank account to get anywhere near a playable game. But there is a vibrant community that has converted smaller, cheaper miniatures like the WizKids Marvel one. So if you're a cheapskate fucker or you're just very, very poor, then you could do that. But Heroscape is a very, very simple game, and it's just some light, stupid fun that I find thrilling. Number 19 on this list is a game that is new to our top 100. It's Beyond the Sun. This has been described as Tech Tree, the board game. Essentially what you'll be doing, you'll be taking actions and you will be researching different technologies that will allow you to take even more different actions, yeah? But the thing that makes this game special is that you'll need to have researched different technologies in the little flowchart on the board before you can research further technologies, yeah? And when you research a technology, that opens it up to everybody else that has a marker on that space. Beyond the Sun is a very, very simple concept. You're not really going to be doing that much in the game. You're going to be putting your work around the board, taking the action, yeah? But it sort of fools your brain into thinking that the sum of its parts is more than what it is. And in your mind, you're thinking this is like a 4-hour game, but really it's over in like sort of 2 hours or less. There's not much to Beyond the Sun. The board is very, very bland. It's sort of like a white and blue aesthetic. There's something ridiculously compelling about improving your technological nous as well as watching what everyone else is doing, yeah? And Beyond the Sun, whilst it's sort of like unfairly called the Tech Tree game, I suppose that's still all you can call it, isn't it? Number 18 is a game that really you could make yourself, yeah? You don't even have to buy it, yeah, because it's just a couple of beer mats in a box. It's Skull and Roses. This is a fantastic bluffing game, yeah? In Skull and Roses, you're going to have 2 beer mats with roses on them. You're going to have one with a skull on them. And on your turn, you will choose to play a beer mat, put it face down in front of you. Then the next person will do the same. And once everyone's gone round, then you've got 2 choices. You can choose to put another beer mat on top of the one you've already played, or you can open the bidding. When you open the bidding, you will say a number, and the number that you declare will be the amount of beer mats you can turn over without revealing a skull, starting with your own one, right? The second thing you can do is pass, in which case it goes to the next player, and then the next player, and then the player who is last to pass will have to fulfill the requirements of their bid, yeah? So if you put a skull down first, you're fucked. Skull and Roses is an insanely simple concept. It's not so much the game itself that is fascinating, it's the meta game, right? You play one round of this and then suddenly you're thinking, is that player going to bluff again, or are they going to be honest this time? Yeah, if they bluff again, then you're gonna be thinking, well, they're not going to bluff a third time, or maybe they will. So there's like a meta game that appears out of the blue in this game, and that's what makes Skull and Roses so special. Yeah, I think this is now known as just Skull for some weird reason, but it doesn't really matter because it's the same game. It's just that Skull and Roses has got the better artwork. Yeah, it's one of our favourite party games of all time. Yeah, Skull and Roses should definitely be in your collection. Number 17 on this list is a game that is currently number 1 on the nasty little website's top 100. It is Brass Birmingham. We played the original dirty copy of Brass way back when, and I was thinking to myself for ages, seeing as we've got the original Brass, is there really any point in picking up Brass Birmingham? And we found it in a bargain bucket sale, and I picked it up, and it pains me to say that it is actually a better game. Yeah, it not only looks better, but it plays better. In Brass Birmingham, you will be building canals and then railways. You'll be trying to link your different cities together. That will allow you to produce different resources that will allow you to ship shit off to far off markets and whatever to get points. Yeah, Brass Birmingham has got fucking beer in it, mush. So I get a little bit nostalgic about playing this game, yeah. Brass Birmingham has done the unenviable task of converting an already classic game and actually making it better. It's got rid of that annoying Tranmere mechanism that everyone found confusing in the first game. Is it worthy of being the best game of all time according to those wankers on the nasty little website? Probably not, but that doesn't mean it's a bad game, does it? It wouldn't be number 17 on my fucking list, would it, you fucking idiots? Number 16 is a game that is played in real time, and it's dropped down the list quite considerably this year because there's been a few games that are better than it, right? It's Project Elite. We're talking about the first edition of Project Elite. I didn't get the second edition, 300 quid. Simon edition, even though it's probably better. But in Project Elite, you'll be trying to defend your installation from hordes and hordes of marauding aliens. You'll be doing this by rolling dice that will allow you to take actions like move, shoot, pick up different technology. The thing that makes Project Elite better than Escape Curse of the Temple is that you've got this baked-in rest period where you can allow your heart rate to come down to a more manageable level. You get 2 minutes to discuss with your peers what you're going to do next, and then you go again. Project Elite is like shooting a load of cocaine, coming down off of it, and then shooting another load of cocaine, yeah? The miniatures in the first edition are fucking terrible, yeah? It's sort of blobs of plastic. I mean, Arcadia Games, what on earth were you thinking? The gameplay is so good, you can't help but forgive them for screwing up the production values, yeah? Both of these games are now out of print. The Simon version goes for stupid money on eBay, and I think it's actually cheaper now to get the first edition, but I don't know if you could live with those god-awful miniatures, yeah? I mean, just thinking about it makes me want to be sick in my mouth. But yeah, Project Elite, one of the best, if not the best, real-time game ever made, and I still love it. Number 15 on this list is a bidding auction game where you have an unlimited amount of dosh. It's Quantitative Easing. In this game, you will be auctioning off different stocks by placing bids, right? The bid that you can place can be anything you like as long as it is not zero. So if somebody bids 6 million euros, then you could bid 60 million euros to take the prize, yeah? The thing is, the player that spends the most money automatically loses the game, yeah? So you've got to be careful about how much you spend. You've got to sort of judge in your mind what the tipping point is, and that's what makes Quantitative Easing a completely fascinating game, yeah? To us, it was a completely brand new concept. I suppose there's always going to be one fucker out there who says that this was a rip-off of another game. But there is an expansion for this. I can't remember what it's called now, but a mate of mine says it does make the game a lot better. It's just that I'm not going to pay 30 euros to have it shipped over from Germany when there's probably just a couple of tiles in the box, yeah? But Quantitative Easing, probably our favourite auction game of all time. It's absolutely hilarious. Every time we play this, people have to control their belly laughs, yeah? So you better go and get it, ain't you? Now. Number 14 on this list is another worker placement game, but this one uses dice. It's Champions of Midgard. It's another one of them games that I put off getting for so long because I thought, well, it's compared to Lords of Waterdeep, and I like Lords of Waterdeep so much, so why would I want to bother with Champions of Midgard? But again, we found it in a bargain bucket. Whilst it's a similar type of game, the actual dice rolling to resolve combat is the thing that elevates this game up above Lords of Waterdeep and other games like it, yeah? There's 2 expansions for this. Both of them are pretty much essential, maybe one more than the other, because one of them adds more dice. For me, this takes a familiar concept and adds just enough stuff to make it better without making it more complex. I'm not a big fan of these Viking-themed games, you know. I've said it before, like, people have a problem with all these colonialist games. You have these big YouTube channels making like 30-minute videos condemning colonialism, but then saying that Blood Rage and fucking this game are their favourite games. I don't give a shit about any of that. Yeah, I'll play games to forget about all that bullshit. And at the end of the day, the theme just sort of melts away with a lot of these games, doesn't it? You know what I mean? You don't sit there thinking, well, I'm going to go out and rape and pillage by rolling a couple of dice. That's just fucking bullshit. So yeah, Champions of Midgard is a fantastic worker placement dice rolling fest that we love a lot. Number 13 on this list is another game by Eric M. Lang, and there's no coincidence between this and what I just said about the last one. Yeah, it's Arcadia Quest. This is a chibi miniatures move, attack, move game. You're going to be laying out a load of tiles that create this dungeon, and you'll be taking on the role of 3 different characters, all with their special equipment, special abilities. You'll be moving around this dungeon, fighting monsters to fulfill the requirements of the scenario, right? But there's a player versus player element. One of the objectives in this game is to kill one of the other players, and you could do this without upsetting them because players get regenerated when you do your resting. Yeah, there's a leveling up system in this game where you can get better weapons, carry them over to the next scenario, and you can create a 6-episode campaign. Yeah, but the game works well as a one-shot game that you could just play in an evening as well. Yeah, some adorable miniatures in this game. The rules are really simple. There's some fiddly rules with line of sight and all that shit, but yeah, it's a great little dungeon crawler with a superb sense of progression, some fantastic production qualities, and I love it. Number 12 on this list is a game that is stupidly compared to Terraforming Mars. It's called Ark Nova. This is a zoo simulator. You'll be playing cards to take different actions. You might want to build different enclosures. You might want to get some animals into those enclosures. You might want to invest in research in universities that's going to give you points, yeah? Ark Nova uses the Raja of the Ganges mechanism where you've got 2 different opposing scoring markers, and when they cross, the difference between that marker and that marker is how many points you get. I love Ark Nova. There's 1,000,000,001 cards in this game, and unlike Terraforming Mars where you've got a hand of cards and you're just going to be drawing off the deck, there's a market offer. At least you get to see some of the cards that are available. There's recently been a marine based expansion for this. I was going to pick it up until I saw the price. It's 30 fucking quid over here for a bunch of fucking cards, so you can stick that up their arse for starters. But there's so many cards in Ark Nova that we're still going through it, and we're still seeing different combinations of different cards, and it's just a fantastic fucking Euro game. Yeah, the hype is real, people. So number 11 on this list is a game that has recently come back to life for us. When we first got it, I played it and I thought, it's all right, but it's not that great. But now we are fucking addicted to it, yeah? And I'm going to be honest with you, I've picked up nearly all of the expansions, yeah? Makes me a fucking saddo, doesn't it? It's Dominion. This is the original deck building game, I think. And you'll have a bunch of 10 sets of cards out on the table. You'll start the game with just money and a few victory point cards, yeah? You'll spend the money to buy different cards, you put them in your deck, and you will be cycling through the deck to play the cards you bought that will allow you to take actions, allow you to buy more cards, and some of the expansions allow you to play special abilities of the cards. When you have depleted a certain number of stacks of cards in the centre, or all the provinces have gone, then the game ends, you add up all your victory points, and then the player with the most points wins, yeah? Dominion is huge, right? I've lost count of how many expansions there are. Is there like 12, 13 expansions? Maybe there's more than that. There's another one coming out next year, which is absolutely insane. Every year, people say that Dominion is done. This is going to be the last expansion, but it just keeps on rocking. I think one of the attractions of this game for us now is that there is so many different variables in this game. When we first got it, it's just a base set, and it was a little bit limited in its scope. It got boring really easily. The fact that you can mix and match different card sets from different expansions and they all seem to work really well together means that Dominion is probably the only deck building game that you need in your life today. So there you go. That is the conclusion of our penultimate segment of our top 100 board games of all time. Do you agree with our list so far? If you do, then you can just shut the fuck up, right? But if you don't, you can leave a comment down below. Tell us how you're really feeling inside about this top 100 list. Is it bullshit? Am I going to be the next subject of your exaltation? If so, I'm accepting Roman Catholic style donations so I can build my own temple that you can worship me at. But if you don't feel like renouncing your Mormon tendencies, then tune in for the top 10 board games of all time, the best board games ever made. And I guarantee you, there's some fucking rock hard, solid games in our top 10, right? Are you excited? You fucking should be.